18 months and over 200 prototypes later, Carbon is finally ready to release their long-awaited TruFoam Genesis paddles, but was it worth the wait? Let's dive in. First off, I want to say that Carbon did send these paddles over for review, but they had no input on this video and didn't get to preview it beforehand. All thoughts are my own. So why did it take Carbon so long to release a new paddle? Well, the TruFoam technology they've been working on is the first 100% foam core paddle on the market. The core uses a proprietary foam blend, and they'll use this tech in future releases, with the first model being called the Genesis. The shapes are the same as the previous X series, with a few minor tweaks to the Genesis 2 shape. The goal of this technology is to eliminate the core crushing issue that's affecting nearly every paddle on the market using a honeycomb polypropylene core. It's also aiming to do away with the break-in period that recently came with foam enhanced Gen 3 paddles. But does this new core actually solve those problems? I'll get into that shortly. Let's talk specs. All the shapes come with a 14mm core and a 4.125 grip circumference. They've gotten rid of the 16 and the 12mm options. Instead of multiple core thicknesses, they're going to adjust the foam's density and structure to get the desired feel with future paddles. These paddles also are made with a T700 raw carbon fiber and fiberglass layup. And out of the box, these paddles aren't very gritty. Also, worth noting, these paddles are USAP PB Core 43 and UPA certified, so they're tournament legal. Alright, the Genesis 1 is the elongated shape with a 5.5 inch handle, and it measures in at 16.5 inches long by 7.35 inches wide, which is a little bit more narrow than the typical 7.5 inch wide elongated shape. My Genesis 1 came in at a static weight of exactly 8 ounces with a swing weight of 119 and a twist weight of 5.53. The Genesis 2 is the standard shape, measuring at 16 inches long by 7.85 inches wide with a 5.25 inch handle. Again, I don't know why they aren't using the full perimeter that is allowed, but my Genesis 2 came in at a static weight of 8.09 ounces with a swing weight of 112 and a twist weight of 6.64. Finally, the Genesis 3 is Carbon's hybrid paddle, but it's really another elongated shape. It measures in at 16.5 inches long by 7.5 inches wide with a 5.25 inch handle. This is the only paddle using the full 24 inches perimeter allowed. My Genesis 3 came in at a static weight of 7.93 ounces with a swing weight of 117 and a twist weight of 6.04. All these paddles retail for $280, but you can use code KEVKNOWS at checkout to save 10%, bringing them down to $252. If you do use my code, I do get a commission, and that money goes back into supporting the channel. So how do these paddles play? Well, being the first 100% foam core paddle, they play unlike anything else. The sensation is kind of jumpy, and the ball sinks into the face and then just pops right off. I wouldn't call these paddles plush or stiff, it's just a different feel. And with that, you get an insane amount of dwell time, making it super easy to shape the ball. There's almost no vibration, and it's honestly crazy. And if you're someone who likes the feel of the ball, this might not be the paddle for you. It's also why some people say this paddle doesn't have a lot of power. You don't feel the ball coming off hot like a traditional paddle, but from my radar gun testing, these paddles are pretty powerful. I'd put them somewhere in the bottom to mid-tier power category. They're more powerful than the Pulse series from Pickleball Apes, but not quite as powerful as something like the Chorus Fire. For pop, I'd call it average. I think short strokes don't sink the ball into the face as much, so it doesn't generate a ton of power. But when it comes to spin, these paddles are among the most spinny on the market, averaging around 2400 RPMs measured with my Stalker Pro 3S. The spin comes from the incredible dwell time, and the face just grabs the ball and it just rips. As for control, I think these paddles are exceptional. Thanks to the 100% foam core, they absorb so much power that it never felt like I was popping the ball up too often, and resets were super easy. The spin also helps with drops and drives, making it dip right over the net. For dinks though, I hit a few into the net at first because I wasn't putting enough into the swing, but that's on me, and with practice, I was able to dial it in. And when it comes to sweet spot, I would say it's above average, though the twist weight doesn't fully reflect that. The weird thing is, it almost feels the same no matter where you hit on the face. It's hard to tell if you made good contact because there's no vibration, but when the ball comes off, it either dies or jumps. And sometimes I was just surprised when the ball just died, because with a regular paddle, you'll feel the difference if you hit it off center. This is something you'll need to get used to, but I wouldn't say it's either a good or bad thing. But the good news is Carbon offers a 30-day trial period, and if you're not happy with your purchase, you can exchange it for a different shape or get a full refund. Now, as for my favorite shape, the Genesis 2 is the one I like the most. I'm a standard shape guy, and this one was the easiest for me to pick up. As for the other two shapes, I think if they made a hybrid of the two, it'd be awesome. Something like a 16.5 by 7.5 inch paddle with a 5.5 inch handle. The Genesis 1, it feels just a little too unstable for me because it's narrower, and I kept wishing the Genesis 3 had a longer handle. For the Genesis 2, though, I think if they made it 16 by 8 with a 5.5 inch handle, it'd be the perfect paddle for me. As for how I'm rocking the Genesis 2, I don't think it needs lead, but I ended up adding 4 inches of half-gram lead strips to the bottom corners running up the sides. I think it just opens up the sweet spot a bit more and brings it up to my desired 7 twist weight, making it super stable. So overall, I think 100% foam core paddles might actually be the future. With the Genesis line being the first to use this TruFoam technology, I think Carbon nailed it. I'm really excited to see what other iterations they'll come out with, but for now though, I think it delivers on all its promises. After all my play sessions and letting some hard hitters try it out, I've experienced no core crushing, and these are guys who are crushing 3S's every couple of weeks. Can I guarantee you won't experience any core crushing or that no new issues will arise? No, only time will tell, but for the weeks I've had it, it's held up and plays the same as the day I received it. And that's why I think you can justify paying $280 for this paddle. It's the first of its kind and so far more durable than a regular paddle. Sure, $280 is still a lot for a paddle, but if you want the latest and greatest, that's just the price you have to pay. I have no doubt that this technology becomes more widespread and prices will come down. But for now, I can confidently recommend this paddle. If you enjoyed the video and found it helpful in any way, please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps out the channel. And if you have any questions about the paddles, drop them in the comments below. I am more than happy to help. But other than that, I will catch you guys in the next video.